Not everyone can make it. So we are going to record. We are going to record this session, so I will have to sit here in front of the camera. Something I failed to do during the last briefing. I was standing in front of the camera the whole time. So that's going to be an unpleasant watch. Now, I don't really have anything specific to present. We do have a bit of new information to share with you about enrollments, and you've got to do that. Did you get that info? I think it's the 20th of October, and I think it's pretty easy to do, right? Has anyone enrolled yet? Because we only just got that advice. Okay, so just going to take this call. So, hello. Oh, I'm going to I have to call you back a bit later. So thanks. Okay. So the ECNU is communicating with you all directly. Is that right? Yep.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Now, the reason that I thought it'd be good for us to have a meeting today, and it doesn't have to be the last one, there'll be more opportunities for us to talk to each other, share information, answer questions, is really to hear from you all. What questions you have, any concerns that you have, issues that we need to address as you start planning to be away for a few months. Now, this is you're all aware, this is the first time that we're running semester-long programs, so there's been a few hiccups isn't the right word. There's been a bit of learning as we've gone about this, and also in working with ECNU. We've done short courses with them, but not the semester long. And things there tend to close in the summer. They were closed for a week in the first week of October. So it's been a bit slow in getting access to, slower than we'd like in getting access to the information. But I think we have all the details that we need. At least that's my impression. If we don't, please let me know. Let me also introduce you to my colleague Shen, who's sitting at the end of the table, and she's going to be helping me to oversight this course. We are going to send you to Shanghai on your own, and you'll be fine. But we also plan to come and visit, check in on you, see how everyone's going, make sure it's all working for you and it's meeting your expectations, and to also be available to provide any advice and guidance that you need in thinking about your next steps beyond the course, or what you might want to do during the summer if you've got some time there, if you're able to stay on in China a little bit after the course. And so either Shan or I will visit at different times, and we want you to know that even if we're not there, we're people you can contact if you have a question or a concern about anything at all. The team at ECNU are really friendly, nice. It's a very professional outfit. They have a huge program, Chinese for international students. There'll be more than 1,000 international students there. It's a major center for the study of Chinese. So they run a pretty tight ship, as far as processing everyone that comes in, doing orientations, getting you set up in your accommodation. I had to have a little bit of a battle with them because their numbers have really grown about making sure that you've got accommodation on campus. It's really cool being on campus, but a lot of students that are coming next year are going to be pushed to accommodation off campus. So I've got a guarantee from them that you'll be in one of the campus dormitories. Just makes life that much easier. Walking to class, cafeterias, it's a lot smoother. So you've got to enroll by the 20th. The other information that I wanted to share with you, and some of you probably already know this already, because for most purposes Australians can go to China visa-free, they have closed the visa centre in Canberra. And that is such a pain in the butt because it happened a few weeks ago, and we have to get, so we're learning how to do this now because we've got a group of students going on our Yunnan short course next month. We have to go to Sydney, and you will too. But you might not have to go in person. You can apply, so the rules have changed. You can apply online, but then you have to get your passport to Sydney. Our advice is that you can send it. What we're doing for this group, and what I think would make sense for you all too, is you apply online and we'll set some dates and deadlines, and then you bring we're asking them all to bring their passports here, and we're going to send somebody to Sydney with all those passports. And we're quite willing to, if that works, we'll do it again with this group. But you're of course very welcome to do it yourself. But you need to get the passport there, and a few days later pick it up. So not super convenient unless you're from Sydney and you're going to be there in February. Is anyone going to be in Sydney anyway? Yeah.
Nearby Newcastle. So
you'll be in Newcastle.
Still a great road trip.
yeah, I'll
Yeah, well, I don't think you need to go in person. So we're about to find that out. But if you're going to be in Newcastle, like, so you mean the end of the year you're going back to Newcastle,
Yeah.
and you'll be in then I think you're better off just doing it yourself. Because it's kind of crazy for you to get your passports to Canberra for us to do that. So yeah, be prepared to do that and just allow enough time. It takes 4 or 5 days as long as your documentation is all in order, and the application is a bit cumbersome. Have you got the letters you need for the visa yet?
Did you get it once you do the application or what?
Probably. And they keep changing the rules, so we'll keep an eye on it and we'll keep you updated. You used to need hard copy original letters for the visa. Apparently you don't anymore, but we're about to find that out with that group in the room next door, because we're in the process of doing it. So we'll have a lot clearer understanding of how the process works by the time you need to get your visas. But yeah, I assume you get that letter. And it's a short study visa that you'll apply for. And I don't know how long, it's probably 180 days. Has anyone had a look at that? Or did we get any advice from ECNU on that? Yeah.
I think we got a next steps letter that says that the program will be running from the 2nd of March.
Yes.
Back to the 15th of July.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of when we can start arriving in Shanghai and accommodation, is there like a week or something equivalent that they do that will be able to move in and set up all of our stuff?
You can go whenever it suits you to go. And it's a late start this year because of when Chinese New Year falls. So we were surprised that it is such a late start. But if you are free in February, we would encourage you to go and travel around. I don't think you can expect any accommodation or any service from ECNU prior to that date. They tell everyone to be there. In fact, that they generally, I think they expect people, there's usually a window of when people arrive. Was the information that March 2 is the start of or March 3, the start of classes?
Just a speed.
Is that a Monday? Is it a Monday? Yep.
Yeah, but they seem to have like an early built into it.
It's built in so that when they tell you to be there, I think that is. Yeah, that's how I understand it too, but I don't know if it's like a full O week. The other thing we don't know, and these are actually good questions for us to follow up on, Shen, is there's an O week, but you're arriving in China's second semester, Northern Hemisphere second semester. So a lot of the students who are there started last year. So whether or not they do the same type of orientation, we don't know. But just when they tell you to be there, be there. And there'll be a language, a placement test, that you'll do. And then there is some wiggle room to change classes after you start too. They have a lot of levels of classes and a lot of classes. So I doubt there'd be a whole week and you start Chinese and you're probably getting into it a bit sooner than that, but I really don't know. And they haven't been able to tell it. In fact, they didn't even give us the date until last week or week before. And that's simply because these things aren't officially announced so far in advance, but we knew it would be around about then. So get there for, was it March 2? Is that a Sunday? March 2 is Monday. So they're asking you to arrive then?
Yeah, I think that's what we got from the
Yeah,
steps
okay.
letter.
So if you do have the opportunity, I think, and you don't have any other commitments, which I presume most of you certainly won't have other study commitments. And I don't know about part-time jobs or visiting family, but if you can travel early, I would. But just keep in mind, see, there might be an opportunity to go to China in February and travel around a bit, see a bit of the country, because I don't think there are any holidays during the semester. You don't get a mid-semester break or anything like that. But you can jump on fast trains on the weekends and go all kinds of cool places. You can also, July 15, you've got a little bit of a window before you need to be back for next semester. So you can milk that and go somewhere. And I suggest getting out of Shanghai at that point because it gets stinking hot in July. But for most of the time you're going to be there, the weather's going to be glorious. Perhaps even a little bit chilly when you first arrive, but not Canberra cold. Yeah, sorry, yeah, Jen.
So it's like the semester is like 20 weeks long with no breaks.
Is it 20? It's definitely longer than our semester, and I don't think there are breaks, no. So you're going to be working pretty hard on the Chinese, but you're going to get so much out of it. You are really going to go next level with your Chinese, no question. Also, I think it's good that it's worked out that way because of the contact hours, because you're getting the equivalent of 24 units of credit for this. And so if it wasn't those extra, because it's actually, if it was just this, what are we now, 12-week terms? So if that's all it was, we wouldn't be able to get you that much credit. We'd have some issues with the university administration about the equivalency.
Mm-hmm.
But with that extra time, is it 20 weeks?
I think it's
Maybe.
close to it.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's a lot of bang for your buck there. Yeah, go on.
How does do you think they go to contract?
29.
Yeah. So it's like 6 hours of approximately.
About that, yeah.
Would it be 7 hours? Quite
The schedule varied a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
So they have a standard Chinese course and an intensive Chinese course. We signed you up for the intensive.
Nice.
And yeah, maximize it, go for it. This is some of those class. There won't be. This university is a real center for teaching Chinese second language. They will be. I mean, teachers vary, right? You know that from your experience here at ANU. Some are a lot more engaging than others, but overall, I think you'll find those courses to be really engaging, and there'll be a lot of variation throughout the day. It won't be like a standard course with lectures and tubes that you have here. You'll have some that are spoken, some are focused on writing, some will be more activity oriented. So there'll be a fair bit of yeah.
So I'm in change 2 now.
Yeah.
Will we be like 26?
That is something that will be determined by the Chinese language program, not by us. So what will happen? So I don't know what level of Chinese you'll test into, but what they have told us, because you're enrolled initially in the shell, I forget the numbers, 5, 9, something or other. That's a shell course, which means is the university saying, we're acknowledging you're doing 24 units of credit here and there are fees associated with that. But then that's not a course that's going to go on your transcript. When you come back, you'll do a language test. And again, this is not to determine whether you've passed or failed your time in Shanghai. It's to ascertain what equivalent of Chinese you've done at ANU. So that essentially they'll be looking to test you out of four classes. And so I don't know whether that'll be a straight up, you've done the equivalent 3, 4, 5, 6. In some students' cases it might be, but they might say, oh, look, we really think you should do 6. So we'll give you 3, 4, 5, and then we'll credit you for another language elective. I'm making this up because this is not, I don't have that authority, but I imagine those will be some of the scenarios. And it has to be something along those lines because you're guaranteed to get 24 units of language credit.
Well, I was told that you can test them for long levels, so say I passed all of like train 1 and 2, and like say if I dirt, like for instance, if I flunk the test or something, they said that like if you don't test into the right level and then like they might you might not take the credit sort of things because you've already done like what we consider the equivalent units.
Don't worry, we will guarantee you get the credits. Because again, we're doing this for the first time, people are still figuring out, including the Chinese language program, which has never had a semester-long program before. So there was some questions were being asked about how all this would work. But Eugene, Bill, we can guarantee everyone here that they will get the equivalent of 24 units of language credit upon their return. And the Chinese language teachers, again, as I said, the way in which they will likely, if they think, okay, you're good to go, you've tested out a 2, 3, 5, 6, you should probably still do 6 here at ANU, then you will get credit. Another 6 unit will be credited to you. So I mean, assuming that you fulfill all the obligations in Shanghai and complete your studies, you'll get 24 units of credit. And with the expectation that they all be language credits. Nadia, right? Is it? Yes. Sorry, what's your name? You're Elise. You're Elise, yeah. No, it won't. No, these programs, they're a pass-fail thing. Is that right?
Yes, and this is not just this program, any year you get credited to your AAU studies doesn't contribute to your overall GPA. That's only made up of courses that you study at.
Which is a bummer for you guys because they're very generous markets in China. But yeah, that just has to, because it's too complicated to work out what those equivalencies of those grades are. Informally, I can give you an HD.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, you'll get, I don't know what it says on the transcript, but there's a code for that, isn't it? It's not a pass, there's another.
Yeah, so if the 12 is like EE, and then you'll also have the 24 units of credit.
Yeah, right. So it doesn't, so it has no impact on your GPA. That doesn't mean you should put your feet up. You'll all work very hard, I'm sure, because this is such an extraordinary opportunity to take your Chinese forward and be engaged in class. Don't be passive. Get involved, ask questions, practice, make your teachers work for you. Yeah.
Is it, just to clarify, because I think the descriptions have confused me a little bit, is it a sort of domestic Chinese university that also does second language Chinese classes for international students?
Correct.
Or,
So most of the people that you will interact with will be other international students. And so, including where you live, they have dedicated dormitories for international students. And so that does make it a little harder to make Chinese friends. And it's something that the onus is really on you to put yourself out there to do that. And I really encourage everyone to do it and to resist the temptation to kind of form your social group that you hang out with, you know, with other Aussies or other internationals every weekend. But you've got to make an effort, because it is an institution into itself, the international student, and they have their own faculty and their own administration. But there are lots of ways you can do it. Just simply going out and talking to people is one. But joining clubs, get involved in, if you like sport, if you play, especially if you're into volleyball, basketball, these are hugely popular sports. And I know from Murray, who's sitting in here, has worked for a long time before coming back to ANU at one of our partner universities in Suzhou, where we have the graduate fellowship program. We've got 5 graduates. So that's something you can look to spend another year in China after you graduate, if you're interested, to, again, get more experience there and to keep working on your Chinese. We've got 5 students there, and there's one guy from UWA who joined the volleyball team, and he says, I'm learning way more Chinese playing volleyball with my Chinese mates than I do in class. I mean, the classes are still useful, of course, but he's really, you know, put himself in. He's the only foreigner in that team, and he's having to use Chinese at all their practice sessions. So yeah, really look for opportunities to make those connections and make friends, but you do have to make an effort. It won't just happen because you are in an international student environment. Murray, do you have any other suggestions on that front? Because, I mean, you worked at an international university in Suzhou.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I turn around and say is, disrespect to Chinese people here, but Chinese people are often very nervous about approaching foreigners because they're scared about their English ability and stuff like this. So
Yeah.
very rarely will a Chinese person come up to you and say hi, or if they do, they're often wanting some sort of thing, like they're going to go to Australia to study, they want you to help them with their IELTS test.
They want to practice their English with you.
But I totally agree with what you said there. Like, if you have something you're interested in, sports is a fantastic one to get into. If you find anything on those lines, then do. But also look for things like, I'm not sure in Shanghai whether they'll do it or not, but things like English corners and stuff like that, where maybe you can go and you can practice your English, and then someone might go on well with someone who can then turn around to this and say, look, if you want to go to lunch and I can practice my Chinese with you or something like that.
Yeah. You can arrange, you can do reciprocal arrangements. And
Yeah.
I think that the school might even help to facilitate that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. They often do. I haven't heard about this specifically, but I think if you wanted to, they would help make those connections and introductions.
Yeah.
If you want to do a little reciprocal Chinese and English.
But there's often loads of opportunities to find. So they do a lot of like singing competitions and things like this. If you go along and do something like that and you sing a song in English, or if you can sing a song in Chinese, then even better. But build things like this which will get you into their type of activities. The one thing which Ben touched on, which I'd really emphasize, is it is very tempting when you get over there and you've got 1,000 people from other countries to just go, wow, look at all these people in different countries so I can talk to. And then at the end of 6 months, you'll turn around and be like, oh, damn, I didn't really meet many.
I've got a great friend from Germany and Sweden, and I'm going to go visit them next year.
And that is fantastic. But then what you'll find is you'll kind of get into this habit of eating out at Western restaurants and going to clubs and things like this, and you'll miss the opportunity because the Chinese people socialize in very different ways. If you can go to join them for a night out at karaoke, it'll be one of the best nights you have, I can guarantee. Like, it'll be so much fun. And that's what you really want to try and get into if you can. And I do admit it's hard to do. When there's 1,000 international students there, it's going to be probably very competitive again, that sort of stuff.
It is.
Yeah.
If you're into karaoke, wow, that is the way to connect with people. I can't sing to save myself, and And I have to go sometimes because it's the right thing to do, but it's just torturous experience for me because everyone's like, yeah, you sing one now. And then everyone's just faces just really drop when they realize how bad
If you can learn a Chinese song and you can sing a Chinese song, you'll make so many friends.
Yeah.
If you butcher it really terribly, they'll still come up.
especially if you can't sing, because you'll get some kudos for doing it in Chinese.
Yeah.
Just drink it off.
All right, I see we have to keep an eye on this guy. Shen, make a note of that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, shit, it's much better.
Yes, Alicia. I believe so, more. Not as small as we organize on our own program. I think they're capped at 25. So it's not crazy. And the teachers they're pretty good. I mean, they'll get you to do small group exercise and activities. Chinese as a second language as a pedagogy has really advanced a lot. And this university where you're going is one of the top 2 places in China for training Chinese second language teachers. They write the textbooks. So it is an awesome place to go. Has everyone scoped out where the university is, where the campus is on that? Yeah, so it's in a western part of Shanghai, but still very much in the city. There's everything you need is in the neighborhood. It's a bit of a, like, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes from old Shanghai, in this sort of old downtown area. But Shanghai is so well connected by subways now. It's amazing how easy it is to get around the city and to do things. And make sure you get out of the city too. Get out on weekends, go out to the countryside, go and see more of China. Even though it's only a weekend, if you can get away on a Friday night, because there are fast trains going everywhere. It's amazing how many places you'll be able to visit just for a weekend. The trains, just incredible. And the university, I think, Shen, is not so far from the Hongqiao station, which is the fast train hub. Hongqiao is the old airport. It's still used for domestic flights. When you fly into Shanghai, you'll probably go into Pudong, which is quite far away. It's like over an hour by freeway to get to the university. But if you're flying domestically, you might go out of Hongqiao. And that's also next to incredibly convenient airport and then bullet train station right next to it. So you won't be far from that. Yeah. You're worried you'll have too much homework. Yeah, good. Trip.com. What's that in Chinese? Trip.com. Yeah, no, but that 它中文名字叫什么？中文名字叫什么？
I think it's like Chong.
Yeah, it is.
Trip.com works.
Yeah, you can use Trip.com in English, but there's an app and then there's a Chinese version of that, which is very popular for bookings. I really like Trip.com because unlike a lot of third-party travel providers, if there's changes or if you have a problem, they're quite responsive. There's someone, you can even talk to people that help you out. So yeah, Trip.com or Ctrip, they are a massive company now. They own so many online booking sites. Do you ever use that Skyscanner? Skyscanner is great to look at what flight options there are for across the different islands. They own that too. Trip.com, Ctrip, same company, they own Skyscanner. So they're good. I book train tickets through them too. But you can get the direct China Railways app and book tickets through them too. And you'll, of course, all need to do all this through WeChat or Alipay. If you haven't got it already, get that all set up before you go. We will organize a WeChat group for all of you too that Shen and I will be on so that we can send communications through that. But you'll also be able to access your ANU email while you're in China. It's Google products. Cheers, Murray. Thanks for coming. Google, Gmail, you can't, WhatsApp, Facebook. People get VPNs to circumvent it. You can play around with that in China if you want. Everyone else does, but it's unreliable and it's a bit of a cat and mouse game sometimes. So my suggestion would be not to rely on that. You know, if you have a Gmail account, maybe you can get a VPN and check it every now and again, but don't rely on that as your main, or WhatsApp as your main means of communication with your family or friends, because it'll drive you nuts.
If anyone's looking for one that's not WhatsApp, I used, WeChat, I use Viber.
Viber?
That's all on what.
I think Signal's okay too, yeah?
I have Signal, doesn't use it there.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if Signal was.
But WeChat's essential just for live. It's almost impossible to live in China without WeChat. So many services are done through it. You can also, I use WeChat to book, getting around by Didi, Chinese Uber, is really cheap. And so instead of having a separate Didi app with, you know, a card linked to that, I just book because WeChat is a hub for all these other apps too, so you can book it through that and get the car, and then it all is just one payment, one card that goes on. You're covered by ANU because you're on an ANU course, and that's a really good insurance policy. It's really solid. If you need support, you'll get it. Medical, you need treatment, because it's a massive university policy that you don't have to go to battle with insurance companies like you often do as an individual.
The whole trip?
Yeah. And it covers you for up to 30. Eugene, is it 30% if they do private travel before or after the trip? What's the insurance rule? Do you remember?
30%.
30%. So, which you would never use up, even if you tried. So if you want to go 2 weeks early, stay on 2 weeks on, you're also covered under ANU insurance.
About the visas, do you happen to know if there's like a visa centre in Melbourne
There is.
for those of us who?
Yeah, if you're going to be in Melbourne, you can get it yourself there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. And that'll be the easiest way to go about it. How many will be in Melbourne? You. Okay. So what we're going to need to do, we'll write to you all, but I think we're going to need to start collating this info about who's going to be where and where you're going to get your visas. Because when you apply online too, I think you've got to select the visa centre where you're going to take your passport. And if you designate the wrong place, you might have trouble. I would also like to, so we're going to ask you for information. I'd like to collect everyone's mobile phone numbers too, because, and I'm doing this with this group, if there's an issue with the visa, you know, we want to be able to make sure we can get a hold of you right away. And you're probably not checking your ANU emails all the time during the holidays either. So I just, if you don't mind sending us those, we won't share them with anyone else. It'll just be, you know, Shen and I in our office here, so that we can get a hold of you if we need to urgently. Elise and correct. Yeah. It is okay, and that's entirely up to you, because you'll be, the way that the grant's going to work is you'll get the grant. I'm not sure when, because that's cut out of our hands, but you'll get it. I think it's 9,000. 9,000. You got promised 10. Oh, that's right. We topped it up. I think the NCP was 9, and there's the college, or somehow we topped up. But I think anyway, 10. If you got promised 10, you get 10. But we are going to invoice you because it's just convenient for you, because there are payments for the program tuition at ASIA and your accommodation. And they asked us, they said, what, so students are going to come and pay this directly themselves? We could have done it that way, but what we're going to do is add that up and do, just to save everyone the hassle really, and do a single international transfer of all your tuition and accommodation. So you'll get the grant, but then we'll invoice you for exactly what that cost is. And then it's all taken care of. And whatever's money's left over, which will be substantial, is what you use for your flights and your incidentals and other costs.
So in that case, I'm curious about how it works with our HEX debt. So does this semester count as part of our HEX debt?
Yes, because as far as Australia is concerned, as far as ANU and Australian HEX is concerned, you're enrolled in 24 units at ANU.
So we're essentially paying ECNU tuition as part of the grant, but
Yeah.
then we're also paying ANU through HEX.
You are paying ANU HEX, that's right. Well, we're actually paying for your tuition.
Right, yeah.
At ECNU. So you're getting that money for those costs.
Mhm.
So please don't think that you're being charged twice.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
These are the courses. Exchange shell course and they are any of your courses.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're getting a very good deal.
I'm sure.
Well, my question was just about, do you know what the accommodation is going to look like? Are they more rooms? Are they?
They've got photos on their website. I have been and seen the accommodation. The rooms are they're pretty comfortable. I think they're twin share. Yeah, so you'll have a roommate. Some, depending on which building you're in, some rooms have an ensuite, and some have, there's a shared bathroom on the same floor. So it's guys, girls. It's just the same building, but there's a guy floor and a girl floor, and up and down. There's pros and cons. I went and checked out both. I don't think it really matters what you end up with, because if you've got the ensuite, the room's a bit smaller, and it's kind of pokey anyway. It's not really a big deal. Just walking down the corridor and take a shower. So I don't think we'll have, because there's a huge demand. In fact, there's an excess demand. They can't get all the students they have on campus. And I went to Shanghai in September last month, and I had this conversation with them, and they were initially going to put us off campus because we're considered under their system late arrivals, because we're coming in their second semester. So all the Europeans and Americans, they started, and most of them are there for a year. So there'll be some that come through. So to accommodate, but anyway, we got them to agree that you would be accommodated on campus. But the rooms are all good. They're all pretty modern and comfortable. I mean, they're small, but it'll either have an ensuite or it won't. I don't think it really matters. And then, look, there might be some scope if you're really not happy when you get there with what you've got. There might be some scope to change it, but not a lot. So we'll see. Yeah.
Just sort of on the same topic.
Yeah.
Do you know if will we cook our own food or will we dine?
You can. Most people don't, though, because there's awesome food at subsidized rates on campus. It's a public university. The cafeterias, man, it's great food. It's like a buffet, and you'll end up going with your classmates, and you'll just all get like 10 dishes and stick them on the table, and having a banquet every lunch for $2 each. So, if you're really missing spaghetti bolognese, if you're really missing spaghetti bolognese, make it on Saturday, if you want, but it just wouldn't be worth your while. The food, this is something we've been to Shanghai for short courses before, and the students were like blown away by how good and cheap the food on campus is.
And so if we have like a twin share, do you know if we get to choose the person with it?
Probably not. It'll likely be someone in our group, but even that I can't guarantee. I mean, it's really, if it really matters to you, it's probably something that you could say, say to them when you get there. But we can't guarantee they'll be able to cook, because it's so tight on accommodation as it is. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, if you get a roommate that's really obnoxious, assuming it's not anyone from this group, because these people are clearly all wonderful, you could probably go and sort of say, look, it's not working for me. But there won't be a huge amount of scope. Again, if there really are problems like this, and try to work it out, because they must be dealing with this stuff all the time. Try to work it out through the team that's there. But if you're not getting satisfaction from that, you can let us know too. I'd also say, don't be too precious about it, because the rooms are small, you know, you're not going to be hanging out in your rooms. You're going to be going there to sleep. So it's not, you know, if someone's smelly or, you know, really messy, and it's just you walk in there and you're like, can't take, you know, I get it that, you know, yeah, if there are those kind of issues, then, you know, you shouldn't have to put up with that. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think it's something we'll be hugely concerned about. But yeah, we really don't know, because we haven't done it before. You know, it's going to work out. But yeah, you'll find out soon enough. Go on.
Just gonna ask, we've got I like had a look at the ECNU application.
Yeah.
And there was like only option, I'm wondering with the grants and how that's gonna work. There's only option to say like self-supported, there's no option to say like you're getting a grant or something.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, are you just meant to tick off like unsupported self?
Yeah, because I'm guessing that means you don't have a Chinese scholarship or
Yes,
something.
I'm well wondering. If it's like consistent with what
Yeah.
everyone else got.
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah. So this is what you get this when you log in to enroll. Yeah.
Chinese SIM cards. So will it sort of be like a similar situation to like the Yunnan trip where they sort of like help you get SIMs? Or is there like things
No.
or are you just like
Don't expect all that special treatment that we gave you in Yunnan. They'll give you, you know, you'll be able to get that advice, but yeah, I mean, they're dealing with much larger numbers, June, so you won't be, no one's going to be taking you down to the SIM card store like we do in Yunnan. Yeah, so you'll have to be a bit more self-reliant. But you know the drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll all want to get local SIM cards. It just makes life a lot easier. It's good to have a local number and also to have, you know, data. You can get those global data cards, right? What's it called? eSIMs, yeah. You use that.
I just use both.
But when you're there long term, it's probably handy to have a phone number as well.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to take away
Some phones.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Some things when you order on, you need to have, don't you? You need to have a phone
Well,
number.
when you do a DD, they read out your number.
that can be
It could be, I see, in my case, that's my Aussie number,
Yeah.
because I've got that linked to me. But I think it, you know,
A lot
if
of
you're there for
phones,
3 or
yeah.
4 weeks, maybe not, but for a whole semester, I'd say definitely get a local SIM. And you can get a SIM for as long as your visa. So the SIM will be valid for that. And the SIMs are cheap, really cheap. Unlimited data, whatever, is probably unlimited calls, probably $20 a month. Yeah. This is all new to us. I don't know. I tell you what though, I mean, are you getting emails from Germany? Let's just ask her. So what do we need to find out? Rather than you all ask it individually, why don't we'll just send it. We need to know, tell me that again. Reference letter. Can you put NA for that or just skip it?
I didn't know what the number is.
It's what?
Oh, okay.
Just put, yeah, maybe just put no.
But we will be receiving a letter for the visa.
Yeah, they'll need to give us a letter for your visa. I think that's after. But some of these questions I think are designed for individuals, because anyone can apply to go and study there and pay tuition. So this sounds like that's how did you find us? Who told you about us question? So yeah. blow that
But
off. What was the other one?
admin there knows we're part of the group, so we have to tell them.
When you're applying, there might be different people and might know. I don't think that matters.
Isn't there a specific, what it says AU?
Oh, he said-
So,
Yeah.
sure you can't stuff it up too
Of
much.
course, that's what they said to, I think on the email, it's like.
Is that the one, the most recent one that came?
Yeah, AU intensive or something.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so they've created a profile in their systems.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry, say that a bit louder.
Yeah, because I was like.
Just like Chinese language, like when you go to tourism industry.
Yeah.
So they've given you an example of how to fill it out, right? First preference major. Oh, it says for reference, just take a look at that email that she sent yesterday at 6 p.m. 6 a.m. So there's a sample of how you fill it out. So you choose intensive Chinese program, and then your reference is ANU. But I don't think that's drop down. You write that in. And recommended by none is ticked. So that you should, please tell me if you didn't get that email, because that means you're not on the mail list. 6:10 p.m. yesterday.
For that one, do we also need to give, is it 800 here?
Yeah, there's an enrollment fee.
Is that refundable? Or is that?
No.
General?
You mean, when you say refundable,
I mean, I thought it was like.
is it, you mean reimbursable?
Yeah, or it's just like just to stop people from doing joke applications, they like take it if it's not real. And that's real.
Well, I think all universities do it just to cover the costs of processing your application, whether you're coming on. But 800, when do you have to pay that?
I think you pay on the application, that's where it's not.
There's a, hey, so hang on, so you got to pay by credit card as part of this? No, you're gonna have to suck that up, because the way it works is you get a lump sum grant, and so that's meant to pay for all these things, and there's still be plenty of money left over to pay for other stuff. But yeah, it's like we don't have a separate budget to the money we're giving you. So if we had, but don't think you're getting ripped off, because if we were paying that for you, we would just add that to the invoice we're giving you for those costs that we're paying centrally. So you're gonna have to pay one way or the other.
Oh, that's also the thing where when I was looking at the grant application, it said like you can apply for Jan 2025 or like back to like you can apply for like previous year's grants. You can't apply for the next. I think was the thing that I mean maybe they're doing it now, but when I was applying, it was like you couldn't select like first semester 2026 as like a time that you are like wanting the grant for.
What do we?
I
what-
didn't realize we had to apply. I thought it was.
You have to apply for your grant. You've already got it.
Okay, I thought like putting the information for like.
They might require some details from you, but by being selected for this program,
Yeah.
we are awarding you the grants. We own the grant. We got the grants.
I think on the Terradata, it was suggesting you could also apply for an OS help loan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can apply for extra money. And a lot of people do that anyway, whether they need it for this course or they could use it for something else. Because it gives you that.
Also on that,
Yeah.
they do like the OS help loan is like really, really good for Asia specifically. And if you learn language to go to Asia, like they give you an extra 1,000, I think. Which is cool.
Definitely.
If they give that to you in a lump sum, direct, like, share it into your.
Yeah, when you get the grant, and I just don't know. I mean, it should be. We don't know anything about that, do we, Eugene?
No.
When are they going to get it? Global programs. Do we have any? We have a rough idea when they get money?
Just like
I do know that they have also just lost a member of their team, who was in this specific area.
Yeah.
So there might be.
Might be some delays.
Out internally as well, but yes, you will see it before.
Yeah, and we
You'll see it by the end.
we have already got this grant from NCP. And that covers 10 places, and our centre is paying for the rest of those places. So it's coming. But yeah, these things are just out of our control. We're having a similar issue with the other short course where I in the last briefing, I said, look, just go and buy your tickets if you can stick it on a credit card, or it's not ideal, but if you wait, the prices are just going to go up, and that's coming out of your end. So just buy it. You'll get the grant before you go. And I'd say the same thing to you guys. I mean, still fairly early-ish. Tickets, if you're wanting to go in February. Oh, that was the other thing. If you want to go a bit earlier, Chinese New Year. That is really probably the worst time to be traveling around China. And it's also when flights tend to be expensive. So, I mean, play around. Skyscanner is good because if you play around, if I go 2 days earlier, you can see those fluctuations. Ideally, if you want to go and do some China exploring, I'd try and get there well before Chinese New Year, like in early Feb. Let's just, if this is appealing, attractive, and go somewhere, get yourself somewhere in part of the country you want to explore and stay there and ride out Chinese New Year somewhere, rather than be trying to travel around at that time. And I think just make sure your visa gives you the scope to do that. You can work out how long you need to be there and how many days you have from the date of entry, which I assume will be 180. However, if you know that you want to stay longer than that, you can request it when you apply for the visa. And they might query it because your letter will say March to wherever, but just tell them when you apply for the visa, you want to add some personal travel and you want 200 days. And you might just get it. But we don't know. The visa stuff keeps changing too. So we can't promise anything. Yes. I don't think you can expect access before the day they tell you to come. If you turn up, you might be able to negotiate to get a room, but I wouldn't bother. If you're there a couple of days early, just get a hotel around the corner. There must be 20 places you can stay within walking distance of the campus. So just book somewhere and hang out, or stay in another part of the city, stay downtown for a couple of nights if you get there early. But I think it would be hard to get attention because that's a Monday too. So no one's going to you won't be able to see anyone over the weekend. But yeah, that's another thing you can do is get to Shanghai and stay downtown. If you've only got a couple of days, but if you're going to go a couple of weeks, if you can go a couple of weeks early, go somewhere else, go see another part of the country, because you'll have plenty of time to explore Shanghai when you're living in Shanghai. Yeah. What else is there? We've still got a fair bit of time to get organised, but we do want to we'll get moving on the visas. They usually, when you get the visa, you can't apply for it too early because usually the visa will, it has to be used, I think, within 90 days. It might be different with that one. 3 months, yeah. So once you're within the 3-month window of travel, you can apply for that visa. But let's get this, because you've got to all do this admissions by the 20th. Let us know if you have any problems with that. And then once those applications are done, we'll get some info about the letters, whether they it might be that we only need electronic ones now, but we'll find all that out as we go step by step, and we'll keep you all posted. Yeah.
Specifically, all their classes will look like, will they be 4 separate 20, 40 classes, or are we doing ones?
Oh, you'll be in different classes.
Yeah.
Some of you might be in the same ones, but they've got like 9 levels of Chinese and multiple classes at the same level. So you might be in the same level, but you just get put in different classes. You'll be in the same building.
What I'm wondering is like, do we have like a separate writing class, separate spoken class, separate?
I think they do organise the program that way. Yeah. So the class. Yeah. So you know, each what do you call it? Like they call it an hour, but I think it's 50-minute sessions. What do you call it? Each period. That's the word, isn't it? Period. So each period will be, you know, a different teacher and a different focus. There should be info on the website about the curriculum. Yeah. You need to go. Just go.
With Australian bank accounts, like if we have, like, for instance, I have a fee that I pay every month for certain things, what will that be?
For your Australian bank account.
Yeah, well, like if there's a fee that comes out of my bank account every month,
Yeah.
my Australian, would that be the same?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
Bank, like how we do it in their account, like you still access it.
Oh yeah, you can access that on any Chinese ATM. Yeah, you just pay a fee for the withdrawal.
I had issues because it needed 2FA and mine was for my phone number, and so I couldn't get those.
But you can get around that by having the app. Because if you have the app, I know at least for Commonwealth Bank that I get a code in the app, not a call, not a text.
Yeah, but just in terms of that, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
You just gotta tell them you're going to China, otherwise I think it's fraudulent.
Yeah.
And but if you don't want to, I didn't bring my Australian SIM and I just got family. Anytime I had to do it to I just got my family to tell me what happened with my phone SIM.
Oh, you left your phone with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, the whole phone actually, but
Yeah. So yeah, you can withdraw money. They might, if you're semester long, they might let you open a Chinese bank account, because you probably don't need that. I honestly don't know. I think you might be able to for semester long, but there's probably no need to. If you attach, because you can attach your Australian bank card to your WeChat account. You can draw money out from an ATM. It's probably all you need.
Just connect my Australian credit card to our. Okay, and it works fine.
Yeah. Hey, check out Wise. Does anyone know about Wise?
Yeah,
Wise is cool. I've got Wise because you get a better exchange rate, and you get 2 free withdrawals a month. But you end up paying less overall for your transaction costs. So for those of you who don't know how Wise works, you open an account, it's a virtual account, and you can open an account in different currencies. And so you have an Aussie dollar account. You can get a physical card, which you can draw money out on too, but you send yourself money into your Aussie account, and then you can do conversion from that to your Chinese currency account, and you'll get a better rate, and there's no conversion fee. So, and then once you convert it online into Chinese money, you draw out in Chinese currency from that account. Whereas if you're using the Australian ATM, you're drawing in Chinese locally, but then they're converting and charging you fees for it. Look, honestly, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. Doing it this way might save you $100, $150 over the semester, but it all adds up. And I don't like getting ripped off by banks. The Chinese banks have a pretty fair conversion rate. So usually when I go to China, I do take a bunch of cash and just change it. It takes a while sometimes. It's a bit slow, but they give you much better rates than here. Don't change money in Australia. Do not get Chinese money here before you go. It is such a rip-off. Like to the tune of 10% more. They slug you. And the worst is the TravelX. Do not use them at the airport. They are such a rip-off. It's way better value to just pull money out of your ATM at the airport when you arrive in Shanghai than to change money here. How are we all doing? Is that enough info for now? Enough information sharing? Still a few things we don't really know. We'll figure it out as we go. Thanks for your understanding. We're all doing this for the first time. But any problems that we encounter, we will find solutions for. And so don't be, if it's really helpful like this, what's been really good, I think, for everyone and for me is to hear your experience, what you've encountered, what problems you found, and we can get it all out and talk through it. Bill, just before we go.
I'm so sorry. This is absolutely a not right now thing. And
Yeah.
it's gonna feel like forever away, but because of the the difference in semester lengths, the end date of this program as is currently listed in the
Yeah.
information packs that we received is the start of O week for semester 2 so you'll be coming back, and if you're then studying here, semester 2 next year, we're launching straight into everything. So we just wanted to raise that if you have an idea of what you want to be doing next semester 2, enroll into that before you head off to China. Right? Because then you've just got that done, dusted, don't have to think about it, and you're not coming back going, oh shit, now what I can get through.
Thank you. But hey, one more thing before you go. This is kind of late breaking. You know, we have the CRW China Studies Fellowships, the 1 year in Suzhou scholarships for graduates. Might be something you're interested in doing. So we have selected next year's graduates. There are 14 people from around Australia. We're bringing them to Canberra for a series of briefings, probably 8th to the 10th of September. It's been a long week. December. And we are going to bring some of our best China experts at ANU to come and give some seminars on a variety of topics. China's political system, economy, culture, media. We're also going to do a security briefing for them, which is pretty full on. But it's something for that year-long program. We've been advised that it's a good thing for people to do so they can say they've done it when you apply for certain types of jobs in the future. If any of you would like to participate in that program, it's going to be over 3 days. You're welcome. Right, what I'm going to invite, all right, some of you are going to be in Melbourne, you're out of here, right? That's fine. But I think you'll find it interesting. And it's a way of, learning a whole bunch of things about China before you go that you mightn't have had a chance to learn as part of your studies that you could find useful. The security briefing we do is optional. We don't require it for the semester-long course, and that our advice from government is that it's not necessary. But the advice from government is if you're going for a year, there's a few things that our security people want to tell you. Does anyone think they might be interested and available to come along? Can you write to us? And this is not an obligatory, and if you're in Melbourne with your family, you don't need to fly back for it. But if you're in Canberra, or if you're in Sydney, or even if you want to come and you've got a friend you can crash with, I think you'll get a lot out of this. 8 to 10 December. And it's a late breaking thing because I only really had this. We started putting the program together for the year long for the fellows, and it was only just like a couple of days ago I thought, oh, if we're putting all this package of stuff together for those guys, maybe some of you would appreciate it too.
Yeah, the email made it seem.
Oh, you already got invited.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, that my office is so efficient. Because I only had this idea 2 days ago. They've already written it. It is compulsory for their year-long fellows. So you might have just accidentally got the same language.
It's about like if you're out of town, they pay for your flights.
Yeah,
They said they paid for
Yes.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, really? That's a bit of a whoopsie, I think. Well, we're not paying for you to come back, that's for sure. We don't have a budget. So that was the email. Okay, so our office has moved too quickly on that. That's for the fellows from around Australia who are going on this. They're not going till February, but we're bringing them to Canberra for that. And I said we should invite you too, but it is not compulsory for you.
Will they
Okay.
still cover our flights?
Well,
The thing is, at that time, I live on campus at ANU and my residential contract is still current. So I can just live where I live right now. So I don't need my accommodation covered, but mine ends on the 12th of December.
Oh, that's good.
So it's just convenient for me, but it did say they would cover flights if necessary. I mean, if that's not the case, then, you know, no
Yeah,
worries.
well,
But-
we can probably find out a way to do it. And hopefully it won't be too many people who need that, because that's not a budget that we have. But I saw a few hands up. People are people gonna be in, some people are in Canberra anyway?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, you should come along if you can. And if you're out of town and you wanna come, yeah, we'll figure something out. So it's gonna be, 3 days of pretty intense seminars about China. And we have a party on the Wednesday night too. Big
Oh, yeah.
party. Big party. All right. So let's leave it there for now, shall we? And if anyone's got questions at this point, if you send us individual questions, unless it's a really personal one, I'll probably send the answers to everybody in the group. Is everyone cool if we about just having the email, everyone's email addresses all there, so you can see who's who, and you can also send them to our office. Yeah, would you email, and then if you send it to CRW ANU, send us your phone numbers and just mention who you are and what that you're in the Shanghai program, and that Ben asked me to send this number, and our office will collect it. And then we'll so that we can contact you about visa stuff if we need to reach you, especially at the end of semester. What else would I say? Oh, and then flights. People should feel free to go if you can do it without waiting for the grant to book your flights now. You're going to get better prices. You could also consider just booking it one way if you're not sure what you want to do at the end or where you want to come back.
Is that you go to the airport? Because sometimes they're like, what are your plans? You know, are you gonna be?
Check this with the visa people, but my experience, because they keep changing the rules, so this is just rough guidance. In my experience, it's not a problem when you've got the visa, but it is when you go visa free. They want to see when you're planning to leave. Usually for the longer term visas, they don't need that, because the way Chinese airlines price, it doesn't seem to save any money buying round trip. 2 one-ways are like the same cost. So, but again, maybe that's something to ask just to be sure. But worst case, if they do it, worst case scenario, they say buy it. But they will. You've got to buy it anyway, right?
Yeah.
There are direct flights to Shanghai, but you save money often by flying China Southern, the stopover. Because to get that business, they often sell it for $200 cheaper. You can probably do it. You can also do free stopovers. You fly like China Southern, a couple of days in Guangzhou, and then fly to Shanghai for the same price. Anyone got any still got any burning questions, or are we all good for now? All right. Thanks for all sharing what you've seen.